Hey, it's Lindsey, y'all. Today is it's an occasion, so I thought I would make a video because I am celebrating 1 year since I came out to the world. On and by that I mean at work and on social media. Which a year ago we were squarely in the pandemic, so me coming out was literally it was all online and it was all remote. But yeah, that's when I told everyone, hey, I'm Lindsey. She, her. Let's do this thing. And I was newly separated from my now ex wife and didn't know what was going to happen in the year to come. I was feeling good in my transition at that point, but I didn't know what was going to come. I was like, am I going to be pretty someday? Am I going to pass at some point? Will I ever wear a dress out in public? What's going to happen? Um, so yeah, I wear dresses out in public a lot now. Um, I'm divorced properly now. I bought a new house. Um, I realized that my hair could look cool as shit. And it's wavy and fun, and I got highlights, and I've been doing that for almost a year at this point. Because before it was just brown and meh. It was in that weird intermediate stage, when you're trying to grow your hair out, and it doesn't look good. You can't make it look good. It just doesn't. Um, but yeah, it was a few months later. It started to look pretty good. I hadn't started voice training and stuff like that at all yet. Um, I God, so many things. Yeah, there were a lot of people that I reconnected with after I came out. A friend from high school, a friend from college, a friend that I met, 11 or 12 years ago playing D&D. And then, we went and got our, I always do that wrong. I always turn my head wrong. And then we went and got our noses pierced together recently. Um, you never know who's going to come back into your life and become somebody important. Uh, so it's been very cool. And I've met so many amazing new people. I've had this habit of turning people who are, providing a service of some sort and becoming friends with them when I am done with that service, because it's like, hey, you're really cool. And even though we're done with this thing, can we be friends now? I've had that with my realtor and with my speech language pathologist. And I consider them both friends now. And I enjoy spending time with them. And, just people that I never would have met if not for this. So many people I wouldn't have met. Um, yeah, it's just crazy how far things have come, how much more confident I am in my own skin. I actually developed a style for myself. And see, like I was just wearing jeans and a t-shirt back then because I didn't know anything else. Like I knew I wanted to explore things, but I hadn't done it yet. My ex-wife was kind of holding me back a little bit because clothes cost money, and she didn't like us spending money. So shortly after that, I started going a little wild, and I did some um, curated clothing boxes, and most of those were a bust. And I learned a lot because I learned what I didn't like, and I learned the things that weren't going to fit well, that weren't going to flatter my body, and the colors that weren't going to look good on me. Things like that, things I'd never worried about because most guys don't care about those things. Or at least most of the guys I know. And when I was living as a guy, I didn't care about those things. But yeah, I pass now, apparently. Sometimes, at least. I keep saying sometimes. People are regularly telling me, like, when I meet them, they're like, I wouldn't have known if you hadn't said anything, or if you weren't wearing, jewelry with obvious trans flag colors on it, or things like that. I need to stop assuming that people just know and just accept that I guess I pass. People see me as a woman. Didn't anticipate that a year ago. I mean, I hoped, but I didn't know if it would happen, and if it did, I didn't know when. And it's sort of, ow. It was 2 or 3 months after I came out, actually. That's when that kind of started. Yeah, it's crazy how far I've come in a year. I just had a therapy session, and my therapist and I were talking about that, and it's and like, where am I going to be at the end of this year? Where am I going to be a year from now? I got big things coming up this summer. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I don't know. I don't necessarily have a lot to talk about here. I'm grateful to all of the people in my life who have supported me and encouraged me and made me feel loved and appreciated for being who I am. And like, I know they liked me before, but I hope they like me more now, because I'm more me and I'm better than I was mentally and emotionally and physically. I'm better in so many ways, and it's amazing. So, and this is, the crazy thing is, I'm literally like, I am 1 year and 7 months into HRT at this point. That's still pretty early. I feel like there's still some good things to happen from that. And obviously, like, I'm still growing my hair out, and I'm done with laser hair removal. But at some point, I'm going to go back for electrolysis and get some of the straggler, like, light hairs that didn't kill, because I still have to shave every day. I could go a day or two without, really, and people aren't going to notice unless they're like all up in my business. But there's stragglers there that I would like to kill, so that I don't have to shave at all ever again on my face. That would be phenomenal. I'll get there. It's one of those things. It's like, I'm not necessarily in a rush. Like, I don't have to be in a rush to do it, and it's not exactly cheap either. And this is not going to be a cheap year, so maybe it'll happen this year, maybe it won't. It'll happen eventually, and potentially, maybe they say it doesn't really help, but maybe HRT will help thin some of those out too. I don't know. A girl can dream. Hopefully it'll help with all the body hair too. It's definitely thin things out some, but I would really love it if I didn't have to shave, my chest. It's not exactly like super furry or anything, but there's enough hair there that I do go over it every few days. And certainly my stomach is very furry still. Not as bad as it was, still more than I would like. So, yeah. So those are things that are yet to come, but not necessarily urgent or pressing. You know, they're not things that I feel like have to happen for me to feel like a woman. Like I don't even know. Like, I guess I wouldn't even necessarily say that I'm like especially dysphoric about them. They're annoying things. They're certainly holdovers from the fact that I went through that testosterone driven puberty the first time around. Um, but yeah, I'll deal with them eventually on my time, on my terms. But for now, I'm just going to keep charging ahead. So, um, onward and upward. Yeah, that's all I got. Until next time, guys. Love and hugs.